A forgotten artifact lies in pieces on a planet far from Earth. Few know it exists except those who took it back and those whose ancestors created it. 4 young people are thrown into a race against emissaries of the gods to find its pieces. Mistrust, greed, and magic are tangled in an endless web. What will the fate be of the universe once it is found and reassembled? Get Scepter of the Gods, The Rod of Truth now on Amazon, and get wrapped up in the saga that will not let you go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotional, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. This is a special episode in a series of podcasts based on Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For several years now, I have gone back to the habits taught in this book to prepare for the coming year and home in closer and closer to my lifelong dream and my goals so that I could more effectively achieve my goals. Year after year, we hear people joking about setting New Year's resolutions and then abandoning them by February. Personally, I don't find that very funny. I hope that your resolutions are more important to you than to give them up after only a month or two. What if you were to set 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most resolutions or goals for 2024, and then at the end of 2024, find that you nailed each one of them? You can. I set 2 goals that to me were very large. As I talk about in the Motivational Devotional, I had to change and grow to become more than I was in order to achieve those goals. As I say this now, I have done that. I changed. I grew. I achieved. Starting with the November 27, 2023 podcast and running through the New Year's Eve podcast, this series offers 35 episodes of principles, inspiration, and motivation that I use toward fulfilling my own lifelong dream. I have audacious goals for 2024, but only 3, because more than that will water down your efforts. I will achieve mine by this time next year. You can do the same. And I hope you will pursue yours with relentless intent. If you find these helpful, please go to the Motivational Devotional Facebook page and let me know. For now, let's get on with it. Don't you love a good thunderstorm? I do, especially with some soft thunder and not very much lightning. I love watching a storm move in and feel the temperature and the air pressure drop and the energy in the atmosphere increase. I usually wait just past the point of it being a good idea to go inside before going inside, because there is just so much going on that I hate to close myself up and miss it. Maybe it's because of my love for storms that I've wondered why we call a meeting of people coming up with ideas a brainstorm. Is there brain thunder? Is there torrential rain or winds? One would hope there would be a flood of ideas, so maybe that's it. A whole storm of creativity, getting outside the box, slinging mud against the wall so you can look at it and see what should stick. I would think that if it really is a storm, enough to be called a brainstorming session, anyone involved should feel as worked up as a tornado during the process. That would fuel a whole ton of creative possibilities. I remember an old saying that goes, plan your work and then work your plan. I have to say I struggle with this as much as any person, and maybe more than most people. At times it seems the death sentence to any task is for me to write it on my to-do list. It's much more fun to brainstorm, and I often feel like urgent issues push a written plan out of the way, as if I'm thinking, it's okay, I wrote it down, so I won't forget it. I'll just take care of this other thing first. I struggle with this thing where the things that are front and center are in sight, and therefore they're front of my mind. You've heard the saying, out of sight, out of mind? Well, for me, quite often, it is out of mind, out of sight, and it can be right in front of my face, and if I'm not thinking about it, I don't see it, because I am focused on this other thing. So, taking the end results of a brainstorming session and organizing it, prioritizing it, and implementing it is, for me, a huge challenge. But I do it. I've figured out how to do it. I don't know if that sounds familiar to anyone else, but it's probably my biggest hurdle. I can brainstorm all day long and really enjoy it. So much so that it can be like the storm yields a flood of possibilities. As a writer, I don't get writer's block because I'm always coming up with ideas and possibilities. I can sit with a group of people and never run out of all the things that we could do. But those are all just ideas. And a lot of them might be good ideas, but it doesn't mean that they are divine ideas that relate to the dream or purpose. At some point, we have to make decisions on what we feel is the most divinely inspired choice out of the flood and then work that choice. That is a lot easier, though, when we have stormed our brains with a flood of possibilities. The most inspiring piece out of a brainstorm is that it gives us what Stephen Covey called the end in mind. He said to begin with that and then to keep that in mind while working toward that end. That is why in so many of these motivational devotionals, I talk about the lifelong dream and how it has to continually be the focus of our goals, our efforts, and our relentless intent. I know that's the core of my issue. Once I write down something as a task, I can easily get focused on the minutiae of the tasks and forget to keep the end in mind. Each task is part of the plan. So, plan the work and then work the plan with relentless intent and nothing else. Diligence is where we experience that all of creation is conspiring in our favor. Trust that the universe always has your back. Coach Vince Lombardi once said, "The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary."
Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Motivational Devotional is a production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.